What's up, y'all? So, your girl is back. Y'all, this video is like, it needs to be done. I haven't talked in a while, have another chat video in a while, and y'all already know I don't do videos as frequent as I used to. So, like, I feel a little weird and out of my elements a little bit because it's like I'm trying to get back into the flow of recording. Y'all will not believe me, but it seems crazy when I tell you what I'm about to tell you, but like I woke up at 7 this morning. I walked the dog, took my little shower, got dressed and all of that. And I did not procrastinate today. I woke up 7 a.m. and just went with the flow of actually doing my makeup, touching up my hair a little bit, setting up the camera, trying to get familiar back with the settings on the camera, trying to do my setup, figure out what I'm wearing for the video. It is like past 6 o'clock right now. I wish I had my iPad next to me. I think it's like maybe 5:30, 6 o'clock in the evening. So like, oh my gosh, almost 10 hours of just prep and getting ready. And it sometimes does take me a little while to get ready, but maybe 2 to 3 hours max because makeup. Usually I'm doing a wig, but me like thinking, oh, my hair's already done, it's not gonna take me that long. When I take hiatuses and long breaks and it's a while in between YouTube videos, it takes a little bit of time for me to prep back up for another video because I'm just not used to it and I have to get familiar with everything all over. So yeah. So I'm glad I did that little spill because I really didn't know where to start and how I was going to start this video. And I needed to get warmed up in the chat and y'all see how off I am. It don't even matter. All right. So I wanted to make this video, y'all, because it'll explain a lot about. First of all, it doesn't matter. For the people who have been subscribed to me and you faithfully watch my videos and stuff, you have noticed. I'm sure you have. Like, dang, Carrie was uploading like all the time. And now it's not as often. Like, the amount of videos that I uploaded this year is nowhere near last year. And the one before that was even more. Each year it declined a lot more. Whereas I was trying to put out 2 to 3 videos a week at a time. And now it's probably one video every 2 weeks, maybe two a month. You know what I'm saying? So it has been a big change in how I've been pushing my content out. And at the top of this year, just a reminder for those of you who remember, I actually made an announcement that I was done with YouTube. I wasn't going to make any more videos. It just wasn't my thing. I just needed to do something different, figure out something else. Like, what else do I need to be doing in life, But I trickled back in. I was like, wait a minute. I think I do want to do YouTube. I just don't want to do it as often. Like, it's always a bunch of confusion. So I'm here now to just clear up the confusion that I still have. So your girl is 32 and I am going on 33, Christmas Eve, baby. So right around the corner, I will be at 33, y'all. And y'all know, y'all hear that term midlife crisis it's thrown around a lot, okay? And I'm guessing midlife crisis. I ain't Google it, but I'm assuming that's the middle of an average life. I don't know what people live into 80, 90 these days. So what? I don't know, 40 something, 50. Is that like normally a midlife crisis? Girl, I'm not even there yet. And I'm having like a midlife crisis, but I'm in my 30s, early 30s at that. And I don't really know why. I can tell you how I feel and why I feel like I'm going through a little midlife crisis type of deal. And then I'll tell you why I think. Like, I mean, so I grew up, this is going to sound like a long story time. I don't even know how long this video is going to be, to be honest, but I'm just going to talk. So I grew up in Southside Jamaica, Queens. Okay. Now, I grew up in the hood, and when you grow up a certain way, that's all you know. You don't really have bigger dreams of doing anything outside of what you see unless you have that imaginative mind, unless you have, I don't know, certain parents who shows you different things, if you've seen different things. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know how to describe it because I know some people that came from the hood like me, but they had bigger dreams. but they might not have been as poor as me, or maybe they did. Maybe their mom was just expand. I don't know. But I know a lot of people from the hood, you don't dream as hard. Well, at least when I was growing up. Now you got social media, so you get to see so many different things, so many things to inspire you and motivate you and make you dream bigger than you ever thought you could. But back then we didn't have all that, okay? Sconex and MySpace was the thing. So the only thing I knew was things were around me. And the dreams that we really had was to like, oh, I can't wait till I get me a nice car or some nice jewelry or some money, but it wasn't like huge dreams of being like a millionaire or a billionaire and having like entrepreneurship businesses and things like that, because ain't nobody was doing that type of stuff back then. So it really didn't seem achievable or attainable. It just seemed like, girl, you know it ain't happening. Right? So that's basically how my childhood was. So as I got like, this sounds more like let me give you a summary of my childhood, but I guess it's gonna make some sense as to why I'm going through what I'm going through. But anyways, let's fast forward, right? When I was 18 years old, my mom had got evicted. So we were like bouncing around and stuff like that. I had just graduated high school. I was supposed to graduate at 17, but your girl was playing around in school. I was cutting. I was not going to classes. Child, to be honest with you, I think they just threw your girl some credits to get us up out of this so we wasn't super seniors. But I had to go back to school for a second senior year to do a half a year for gym and Spanish. And it was like a night school kind of things at Joan Adams, something like that. Whatever. Okay. So I did it and I graduated in January of 2010. Okay. Once I graduated 2010, it was like a few months. January, February, March, something like that. I feel like between that time to summer, my mom got evicted. So it was my mom, me, my sister, my brother. My brother wasn't really staying with us a lot, but he was staying with us a lot of times. My little sister was like 16 or something like that. Okay. We like a year and some change apart. So at that age, I was 18. I didn't really have a plan. Like I was telling y'all what I was going to do. And to be honest with you, I wasn't even pushing for college. All of that type of stuff to me just seemed like, yeah, that ain't the life for me. It didn't seem attainable. It didn't seem like it was going to work. I really didn't even know if I were to go to college, I didn't know what I would even go to college for. Like I had no type of like plans with life at that age. I was just going through the flow. Like, okay, I just graduated high school. Now what? If you feeling my vibe and you want to see more beauty, fashion, or videos like this, please subscribe to my channel. Help your girl out. And if you want to be notified every time I drop a new upload, go ahead and turn on that notification bell so you do not miss out. Now, what was the eviction? So once she got evicted, we was bouncing around a little bit, right? And then it forced me to grow up because I was like, all right, I'm 18. We bouncing around with my mom, da 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 da. Eventually, I got my own job. 18 years old was the first real job that I've actually kept for like almost a year. I had a job right before that because my best friend, Unique, at the time, oh my gosh, I was like my sister. She passed away. Rest in peace. God bless her soul. She hooked me up with my first job outside of summer youth, and that was at McDonald's, okay? McDonald's was a very overwhelming job for me. I remember, but I needed it because we just got evicted. I was like renting a room somewhere, okay, with somebody that we're not even going to discuss. And it was like very stressful because I just went from living with my mom and being in high school to just growing up in a blink of an eye. And I was working, I was trying to get my little money out for rent and all of that type of stuff. But even in the situation of being, what do you call it? Like in a tight spot and knowing that I need to pay my rent and stuff. I mean, I was forced, but I wasn't really, I guess that responsible enough to like be like, oh, keep the job, girl, you need it. I don't know. 18-year-old thinking. I quit it because that job was so overwhelming. The only other jobs that I ever had before that was summer youth during high school. Like in the summertime, you would go to the daycare, watch the little kids, stuff like that. It was easy. McDonald's, They had me at I remember this, the first day they tried to get me on the drive-through. Drive-through, I could not get it down. I couldn't take the orders and take people's money while hearing somebody talk. I could barely understand what they were saying in the head. It was crazy. And I almost felt like I wanted to quit at that time, but I stayed a little longer. Then they put me on the cash register, and it was cool for a little minute. But then it was like, okay, you here for a little bit. Now time for you to make drinks. I'm like, I don't know how to make no frappe and all this little latte and this and that. I don't know how to use the machines. They didn't teach me. And excuse me, it seemed overwhelming, and they wanted me to close. So then we had to do like cleaning up and doing something about getting rid of the French fry oil. It was just seeming like a little too much for what they were paying. Not to say I was bougie, but they weren't paying much back then. But to be honest, it wasn't about the money. That's me thinking now, like they wasn't paying people enough. But back then I wasn't thinking they wasn't paying enough. I was just happy to get a check. But the job itself, it like overwhelmed me. I quit. I remember going in one day and telling the manager like, oh, me and my family's moving to Florida. I can't do this no more. And that's how I quit. I lied. I wasn't going to Florida. I was just so young and I didn't know how to quit the job. So that was my excuse. All right. So boom. So that was the first job. Second job, I ended up upstate at my aunt's house. And that's kind of when I planted my feet and started getting a little more mature in a sense. So I quit that job, ended up bouncing. I stayed in that room that I was renting for a little bit. I then bounced around from shelter to shelter. Wasn't getting approved to be in the shelter, sleeping on somebody's couch back in the shelter again. So it was like one of those type of situations. At one point, we were all sleeping inside somebody's halfway house. Like it was crazy. It was that bad. So, um, I ended up at my aunt's house, and the whole family came to stay with her till my mom got planted on her feet. She got planted on her feet and she went and got her apartment. I ended up staying at my aunt's spot. And then from my aunt's spot, I ended up getting an apartment. That was my first apartment that I got on my own. Rent was like 3 something, girls, a studio. And I was working my first job that I actually kept for longer than 3 weeks. I was doing call center work. Hello, thank you for calling, blah, blah, blah. How may I help you? And I was doing that for mad long. That's why I met one of my real close friends. I consider her sister. And it was rocking. It was rocking. Okay. I started getting a little adult life going on. I had an electric bill coming in, a little bit of rent, just put a little money for my little bus to go back and forth to work. My mental wasn't even on looking to see if I can get a vehicle. I couldn't even drive at the time. You already know I got my license at 30. So yeah, my mind was nowhere near that. It was just kind of going as I'm flowing. I guess the same how I was doing in high school, just going with no plans in life, just flowing. Eventually, I was at that job for maybe 10 months, almost a year, probably a year. And then I moved back to New York City, and then I eventually got another call center job. So I did one, did another. It was cool. I stayed there maybe 2 years or something like that. And I got fired. Okay. That's a whole nother story. I got fired after being there for almost 2 years. And that situation, if it wasn't for me getting fired though, I probably wouldn't even be a content creator. I probably wouldn't even be with my husband. Like it's crazy how things happen, and because this happened, this is what's happening now. But anyways, after I got fired, I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna collect some unemployment because y'all fired me. Y'all should never fired me. Got the unemployment, was happy with that, and I was back in my mama house. It's crazy because at that time when I went back to New York City, I did have my own spot. I had a real dope basement apartment, and no kid you, y'all. Somebody, somebody, while I was at work, broke into my apartment. I don't know who. Nobody still knows who it is. And they tried to get upstairs to the landlord's crib, like I guess to rob them or something. And the landlord called me like, yo, somebody broke in. Da, da. It was crazy. All right. I didn't know who it was scary. Called my dad that day and told him. He was like, nah, you got to get up out of there. So we went there and we literally took my stuff out that night and lugged it all the way to my mama house. She was living in the Bronx. I was living in Queens. And then from there, I was back at my mama house. I didn't stay there for too long though. I feel like it was probably, actually, I was there for a little bit. I was there for January, February, March, April. No, up to March. It was up to March. So like 3 months I was staying at my mom's crib. And I was at that time, I don't even know if I was looking for a job. I probably was just like, let me just collect this unemployment and just do whatever. I was chilling at that time. I was looking for jobs, but not like I wasn't going hard. You know what I'm saying? Since after high school, I just was working and that's it. So I was like, forget it. I'm just take my little break and just collect unemployment. So that's what I was doing. So what ended up happening was, that March, I was talking to, cause my husband and I at that time, we knew each other from high school though, but we started like talking. That's when things was getting like serious, and then as adults I should say, right? And then he was telling me that he was going to Florida for school, and I'm like, okay, that's dope. And he was like, yo, you into like hair and stuff like that? You should go. There's a school out here called Abita. You should go there for hair. So I'm like, you know what? That don't sound bad. So this is just a life story at this point. This is like a story time. I don't even know if I'm gonna get to the point of my 30s life crisis, but maybe I'll split it into two parts. I don't even know. So anyways, I guess it's the lead up, right? So anyways, I went to Florida. I was supposed to be staying at my aunt's house, right? My school was in Orlando. I was supposed to be staying at my aunt's house. And my husband's school was in Orlando too. So he was in Orlando. I would bounce back from Lakeland at my aunt's house to Orlando, going back and forth. And that was like a 2 hour drive, depending how you drive, maybe an hour and a half, something like that. And no, I didn't drive. I didn't get my license until I was 30. So at that time, I don't know, I was probably like 21, 22, something like that. Still a baby. And yeah, for a little minute it was cool, but it was like no solid plan. So I was trying to figure out how I'm gonna like how this gonna work, because like my aunt is like 2 hours from the school. So what was supposed to happen is I was supposed to get my own spot. I was gonna use my low unemployment pay for some rent. The rent wasn't really that much money near the school. Like across the street from the school there was like an apartment complex. It was like $700 for one bedroom. I was like, cool. And I went there and ain't look back. You feel me? So that was the plan. So at first I was looking for apartments, but I don't really remember the details on why I wasn't in an apartment yet. I'm not even going to sit here and hold you. I don't remember. But I know that when I was going to school, I was staying at I'm like my husband, boyfriend. He was my boyfriend at the time. So I was staying at his crib like a lot. Like I was going over there a lot. And then of course I would go back to like Lent to my aunt's because I didn't live there and he had a roommate anyway. So I was there more than I needed to be there, to be honest with you. But my school was there. So it was like, okay, I'm just going to go to school and come back here, go back to my aunt's house on the weekends. And then I will eventually find my own spot. So I did eventually find my own spot. So I went to go get a spot. They was like, I don't make up enough money because, my employment was like 3 something a week. To me, I was cool with that because the rent was like 7 something. Like, listen, I was not complaining. Okay. So they was like, I needed a co-signer. Cool. My aunt comes. She's a co-signer. I give them a deposit to move in and all of that. I had a moving date and all of that. Everything was sounding like it was going to be a plan. Okay. What ended up happening was, oh yeah, and I had started the school. I was in the school already. I already told y'all that. So anyways, what had happened was the unemployment was like, that's it. It's over. Okay. So I'm guessing, what was it, like 6 months of unemployment? It couldn't have been a year. It was like 6 months. I don't know. It was some months. I was into school for a little bit of time and then they cut me off. And then they was like, you have to be in school or something like that. So I didn't even get a chance to move into the apartment yet because the money was cut. So once they did that, I was like, okay, well, I need money. My aunt lives in Lakeland. It's 2 hours from the school. It's impossible to do this. And then my boyfriend lives in Orlando, but this is not his crib. So I can't really like just move up in here. It's like, it's not my crib. It's him and his roommate's crib, right? So I had no income no more. It was crazy. So at this point, I went back to New York City. I quit the school. I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. So I quit the school and I went back to New York City. Right? I go to New York City and I know I filled out some paperwork or something telling them that I was in school. And I don't know how I got cut off. They might have just cut me off and maybe I reached out later and was like, yo, I'm in school. And they was like, oh, if you in school, you could get it. I don't know. It was something like that. But at that time, I was already out of school for like a month when I found out that I would have still qualified because I was in school. But I was already out of school for like a month. So I don't even know if they would have taken me back at that time. It was just so much. I'm in New York City now. So I was in New York City. I stayed there for a little bit. I don't know how long I stayed there. I don't really remember how long I stayed there. It might have been a few weeks or something. Everything just felt chaotic. I have no idea, to be honest with y'all. It's such a blur. So much happened in that amount of time. Anyways, it wasn't feeling too. My mom's house got tight too. It got tight. It was she only had like a 3 bedroom, but like my sister had she was there. She had a daughter, my niece. My mom was there with whoever her dude, and then my brother was there too. So it was kind of packed, and it wasn't really a lot of space for everybody to be like there. And also, I ain't gonna lie, it was a depressing like situation. It's still in the hood a little bit, in a really crazy part of the Bronx. Nothing was feeling inspiring. And after coming back from Florida and seeing all the beautiful trees and how things could be and being in better like apartments and stuff like that, I was like, I want to be here. So I flew on back to Florida, y'all. So I went back to Florida. And at this point, my mindset was like, okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get a job and get my own crib and something like that. Like the school wasn't even on my mind no more. I really still wanted to do it. And I kind of was bad, I was seeing like my friends on there prospering and stuff like that. I was still rooting them on. I wasn't hating, but I felt like, dang, like I could have been with this crew had they told me if I was in school, I'd have still got my unemployment. But it wasn't the situation. So I was just trying to make the best of just being in Florida. And I was like, I'm gonna work, I'm gonna get my own crib, stuff like that, because it seemed attainable. And to be honest with you, it looked better out there and it was more affordable than New York City. So I went back to Lakeland, but really I wanted to live in Orlando. So I was looking for jobs in Orlando. Was this in the summertime? Something had happened where Ross Dress for Less. I remember they wanted to call me in for an interview, but I talked to them. I was still in New York City at the time, and it was basically making it seem like it was promising, like I got the job kind of thing. So I flew back out there. When I called them, they was like it was filled. So I was tight. I was tight because I thought I had a job. It didn't happen. And that was in Orlando, and I was going to work, save money, get my own crib in Orlando, right? It was just crazy. Oh my gosh. Like Florida was a crazy time. So what ended up happening was I lived in Lakeland with my aunt because that was the plan from the beginning. It wasn't my plan to really be like all up in Dominique's space or anything like that, even though I was there a lot. Okay. I was there a whole lot. And it started becoming like really depressing, right? Because I felt kind of alone. Like the only person I felt like I had when I was there was Dominique. So I depended on him a lot, which I think put a lot of pressure on him a lot too, because at that time he was there for school and I was just there. And it's almost like, dang, I'm kind of forced to be here for her more than I thought I was going to, because he was supposed to be having his own school experience with his roommate and stuff like that. And I was just there. But I felt alone because staying at my aunt's house in Lakeland. Listen, I ain't about to be up on here trying to seem like I'm bashing people or talking about family or family business, saying too much. But the best way for me to put it is I just didn't feel supported, and I didn't feel I didn't feel supported. I didn't feel like I was getting a support that I should be getting from an aunt, if that makes sense. I felt like, yeah, she opened up a home to me and I was grateful for that, but that's just about it. Like everything else felt like I had to do or figure out on my own. And it was tough because like, bro, I'm in Lakeland. Ain't even no buses running out here like that. It's like the boonies of Florida. So it was really tough. I did end up getting a job when I was in Lakeland, right? And that fiasco just became so annoying because what happened was I started working at another call center. And at this call center, the job was cool and all of that, right? But it was crazy because it was like a 20, I don't know, 15, 20-minute drive from the house. Like, bro, you can't walk to the job from the crib. You just can't. Okay. And taking a bus was almost like a 2-hour ride. And you probably waiting at the bus for mad long. Like, buses did not run over there often. And even if I did take a bus, I still had to walk like a mile from the bus stop to the crib. So it was just not ideal. But I end up getting the job. And my aunt, she worked 2 jobs at the time. So when I was off of work, I had to stay at the job for like 2 hours. I think I was off like 4:30, and she was off her second job after like 6 or something. So by the time she got to me, it was like 6:30. Like, it was crazy because I would be sitting in a break room for like 2 hours waiting to be picked up. It was mad uncomfortable. It was like, because I didn't like begging people for rides. I would never do it. I had one friend that would offer to take me home sometimes. Cool. And I was mad grateful, but I was never the type to ask. So I didn't ask people for, I'm okay. But like, who wants to be hanging around in a break room at work 2 hours after you get off? Like, you want to go home, you want to get rested, you want to, So that started becoming crazy. So I quit the job. I'm like, I'm not doing this. It's mad uncomfortable. And it was even uncomfortable in the mornings getting there because she had to be at her school because she was working. She was a teacher too. She had to be at her school before I had to be at my job. So she did a little hookup thing where she would pull up to the school, park in the school, have somebody who kids go to the school. I don't even know if the lady kid goes to the school, but she worked at my job, somebody she know. So the lady would pick me up from the parking lot to take me to work with her, but she wouldn't take me home. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, the lady lived near the job. She wasn't about to drive me all the way home. So I had to get double card up to go to work and then wait 2 hours after work. Like, I don't know about y'all, but it just feel like, it might not sound crazy, but it is crazy. It was crazy. I'm going to some lady's house who I do not know. She's picking me up. We going to her house so she could finish getting ready, going to work. Cool lady, but I didn't know her. It was like mad uncomfortable. Like, the whole thing was uncomfortable. Uncomfortable going, being in that type of situation. Uncomfortable being at work for 2 hours. Everybody looking at you like, why you still here? Like, it was just all around uncomfortable. Like, I just wanted to work and that's it. But I mean, in that sense, I couldn't do it. I was like, I'm not doing this. So I ended up going back to Orlando now. So I was like, okay, Dominique, can I come to your crib? Let me see if I could find something out here. I could take a bus or something and then find a crib out here, because that whole two people taking me to work and then 2 hours waiting to get picked up is just crazy. Like, oh my gosh, thinking about it is crazy, y'all. So yeah, I ended up at his house for a little bit and I started looking for jobs in Orlando. And I wasn't really getting no callbacks, like no callbacks at all. Like, nothing was popping off, y'all. Nothing. So after some time, I went back to New York. But this time I went back to New York City, and I really didn't know how long I was going to stay there. But I was just like, I'm not really having a good time in Lakeland because my aunt never here, or we live 2 different lifestyles too. For those of you who don't know, I probably said it before, I'm not really a religious person. I never speak about religion on my channel. I don't talk about religion on my channel because I'm not really a religious person. But I don't mind if you are a religious person, you could do you. But we live 2 different lifestyles. She was very religious, and some stuff just clashed a little bit, It just didn't, I wasn't like 100 comfortable there at the same time. But also at the same time too, like I said, I didn't feel super supported in a way either. I felt like it was like, hey, I got my house open to you. I could try to get you to work, try to get you home from work. But aside from that, I don't know, figure it out. That's kind of how it felt to me. Maybe that's not what it was, but that's how I felt. So I felt alone. And then like, I didn't know anybody in Lakeland, obviously. So I was like, I'm going back to Orlando. So I was there for a long time. I would go back to Lakeland every once in a while, give Dominique his space because, again, I'm intruding in him, his roommate's apartment. Like, I was intruding, y'all, because Lakeland was not the vibes. At some point, I ended up back in New York City my story's all over the place. I ended up back in New York City. And when I was in New York City, I ended up working at a clothing store. It was like Christmas holiday or something. So I was there for a little minute and it was going to keep me on permanent. I was doing overnight packing. It was a cool job or whatever. Like I wasn't tripping. I liked it. And something happened in the Bronx while I was there that just made me feel like I'm out of here. So something happened, made me mad, and I went back to Florida. And I kind of was like, that's it. I'm just going to stay in Florida and figure it out. So I ended up back in Florida again, y'all. And this is all happening within 2014 through 2015, by the way. So first of all, in 2014, March is when we first went to Florida. We left Florida in 2015 and we went to Georgia, but we didn't get there yet. So back in Florida I was, but this time I was more at Dominique's house because that's where it was more comfortable. I had somebody to talk to, somebody to relate to, somebody understands me, you know. That's just how it was. And sometimes I will go back to Lakeland still just because, like I said, it's not my crib. It was his crib and his roommate's crib. But I was over there so much that you would think I lived there. But I did not live there. So I would still go back to Lakeland to give him his space. And every time I went back to Lakeland, I just was kind of depressed a little bit because it just felt like boring. It was slow. I ain't know nobody there, so I was in the house all the time. It was no cable, so I was watching regular TV. Like, it was just not the vibe for me at all. And I remember too, y'all. So I did talk about this way back years ago on my channel. I think I removed it about the story time about I had a miscarriage, but I actually went through a miscarriage, right? When I was in Orlando, I was pregnant and didn't even know it, child. I did not know it. Found out I was pregnant the same day I found out I was miscarrying, okay? And that miscarriage was like super duper crazy because it was so painful. And in the state of Florida, they don't do abortions. It's illegal. So even though there was no developing baby because there was no heartbeat, weeks are going by, there's no development at all. And the doctor knows that, but she's like, oh, because abortions aren't legal in Florida, I have to absolutely make sure that there's no development before I give you this medication to help you, you know, get rid of the baby and stuff like that. So it was just so many doctor's appointments. And even though I was already miscarrying, I was so sick. I was car sick. I was feeling like I was about to throw up every appointment drive. It was just a hot ghetto mess. And we were supposed to be there for school. Ain't nobody sitting here thinking about no baby. But that's what ended up happening. Long story short, I ended up miscarrying. The miscarriage lasted for weeks. Weeks. Okay? And at some point, I had to go back to Lakeland because that's technically where I lived, and Dominique's roommate was doing whatever they were doing, whatever. So, I remember I used to so this is the thing, right? My aunt's church was out there in Orlando. Oh, I got my foot itch. Her church was, how long I've been talking, y'all? 30 something minutes. My aunt's church was out there in Orlando. So on Sundays, she would come to Orlando. So sometimes I would ask her, hey, on your way home, can you come scoop me up? Because that's the only way I'm going to get home is either for her to take me back with her, or sometimes Dominique would actually get rentals to pick me up all the way from Lakeland or to drop me home. Like, it was crazy. So she would sometimes, but then sometimes I'd be like, I'm gonna just stay a little longer because she would make Dominique pay her gas money to take me back to Lakeland. And it was crazy because she would be asking for like $20. And now at my big grown age and, you know, driving and stuff, I'm like, bruh, like $20 is almost filling your tank. But back then she was asking for like $20. Gas was cheaper back then. It was like a dollar something. And he was just giving it to her. But I used to be like, wow, like my aunt's really asking my boyfriend to pay her gas money to take me back home. She's in Orlando. I'm in Orlando. you're driving to me, but you're not driving that far to me because you're already in Orlando and you're already going back home to Lakeland, which is 2 hours away. I'm just asking you to come scoop me. Like, to ask me for gas money knowing I don't work, but you're asking my boyfriend for it. He don't work either. He in school. But he got money, whatever. I just felt like that was crazy. So that was also contributing to me feeling alone. Like, wow, my aunt is asking for gas money to take me back home with her, and she's already here in Orlando. And that was every time. Every time she'd be like, yeah, you got gas money? Because I ain't got no gas. And I'm like, okay, guess we got to pay her to take me back home. I mean, at the end of the day, we did it because why? It was cheaper than him getting a rental. But I just felt like that's crazy. So that happened a lot. And after a while, um, long story short, let's fast forward this. I was at her house um, for a majority. I don't even know. I was there for some months at this time. Just there. No more trips back to Orlando because a new transition was happening where we were ending up in Georgia. So Dominique went to Georgia before me, right? To get things ready, get things lined up. And it probably was like a month or 2 months. I was in Lakeland by myself and I already felt lonely there. I was just got finished going through the miscarriage. I wasn't, yeah, we ain't even gonna get into that's what was happening. I was feeling depressed. And yes, at some point I was even feeling suicidal when I was there. And I was just like, what is life? Like, life feels crazy. It's depressing here. It's lonely. Don't got a job. Nobody here. Nobody talk to. Nobody here that understands me. Nobody that's not judging me. Like, it felt crazy when I was over there. And I was ready for it to be over. So eventually, Dominique got us a spot in Georgia, and he came to Florida to get me. And that's how we ended up in Georgia, okay? So we was in Georgia for a little bit. And in Georgia is where I actually started my YouTube channel. When we got into Georgia, I worked at another call center yet again. I worked at, where did I work first? First, I started the Waffle House. The Waffle House was the first job I did out there. It was cool. It was overnight. I met my friend, one of my good friends. And then I ended up at a call center where I spent most of my job work time when I was in Georgia. It was at a call center and it was good, whatever, kind of getting up on my feet, whatever, we doing what we got to do. And our own little crib wasn't the best crib, but it's a crib, you feel me? So it was doing what it was doing. And that's where I started my YouTube channel. When I started my YouTube channel, I actually quit that job. Yo, I be quitting jobs, y'all. I don't like working for people. I quit that job. I'm like, I'm about to become YouTube famous. I'm about to make some money on here. Like, that's how I was feeling. I was feeling myself, started doing all this crazy makeup videos and all that stuff. So YouTube started in like 2015, 2016, one of those years, right? I think it was 2016. So boom, YouTube started, and that's what I've been doing the whole time. And I'm not gonna lie, I think I told you guys I probably would never start YouTube if I didn't end up in Florida with Dominique, because Dominique already had the imaginative mind. He's very creative, and he's been that way his whole life, his whole childhood, just thinking bigger, dreaming bigger. And I started seeing like the creative things he was doing, and kind of opened up my eyes like, oh my gosh, let me try something different. So me as a teenage me would have never thought that I'd be doing this. I would never thought I've been doing makeup. I never thought I've been doing any of this whatsoever. It seemed like something that other people were doing. You know what I'm saying? Oh, look what she's doing. But it didn't seem like something that I was doing. I remember one time I used to watch Aaliyah J a lot. She was the one I was just like watching. Like, I loved her channel, just watching her. But never did I say like, oh, I'm going to get on and do one too, until I got inspired by him, because he had like cameras and lights and music equipment and all this stuff. And I'm like, whoa, this kind of cool. And y'all already know that I like my hair to stay cute. My hair been staying cute. Ever since I was like 11, I started doing my own hair. So my hair would stay fly, stay on time, stay cute. And I always would get compliments on my hair. And that is what prompted me to go to the Avita Institute for cosmetology, because I used to do hair all the time. Now I hate doing hair, but back then I used to love doing hair. And one day I was on his laptop This is when we were staying in Florida. I was on his laptop and I popped open the little video app that's on there. And I did like a little review of some little hair that I did a sewing on. This was before my wig days. Before my wig days was nothing but glue-ins and sewings. That's all I did was weave. And I did like a little review and I was going to post it. But I just never posted it. You know what I'm saying? You know how you make something like, I'm going to post this. It just never made it to YouTube ever in life. I don't even know what that video is. Probably doesn't even exist anymore. But anyways, when I got to Georgia, started working at call center job, people was like, oh, your makeup look nice. Your makeup look nice. You tell me, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna start a makeup channel. And boom, I surely did. My first video was my everyday makeup routine. Dull, boring. I was so scared. I wasn't really talking loud on camera. I was talking real dull and monotone and all that stuff. I was camera shy. I ain't no more. You already know that. But I did it. That's how it started. All right. So I guess that's basically the lead up of how I'm going through this little crisis thing. That's all the lead up, okay? It's a summary. You guys can't get the whole picture because if I tell you the whole picture, you'll be sitting here for 32 years, like the 32 years I've lived to understand every single thing. So that's impossible. But that's a little lead up of to how I'm here where I am. So that is my past, sort of, right? So we was in Georgia, stayed there for a little bit, ended up back in New York City because Georgia was, at some point, neither one of us was feeling it. We was feeling signs to get up out of there. It just wasn't flowing no more. It wasn't flowing. Something didn't feel right. It was time to go. End up in New York City. New York City, okay, we got family nearby and stuff, but we ain't got our own spot, whatever. So boom, boom, boom. We end up where we at now. So we in this spot, and I continued my YouTube all the time though. In Georgia, when I moved back to New York City, I was still filming. In New York City is when I moved back to New York City from Georgia, I got my first big campaign with NYX Cosmetics when they flew your girl out to LA. They flew both of us out and they paid me some good money to do like an ad for Halloween. They had like my face on the billboards and the NYX stores and stuff. So I was feeling myself. I was like, oh, your girl about to get rich. But the makeup started getting boring to me, so I stopped doing the makeup as much, and then I dived into the wigs. Usually my videos revolve around something that I'm trying out for myself that's new at the time. So makeup was new for me at the time, so I was up on there doing makeup. And then when wigs was new for me, I started doing wig reviews. And now fashion ain't never new to me, but me trying to relearn my fashion, figure out my fashion is kind of what I'm loving right now. So I've been pushing out a lot of fashion on shorts and things like that. You've probably seen it. So anyways, so all of that is my lead up to say this. Okay. So I guess this is going to be a long video. I'm probably going to have to chop it into either 2 or 3 parts. But I was talking for a long time. I need some water. I ain't got no water near me. So my life to me seemed very chaotic. It seemed to me like there wasn't a lot of peace within it. It seemed like there was always moments of having to do something versus wanting to do something. Even though that's probably was not the case, that's how it felt to me because I grew up in a struggle. And then because I grew up in a struggle, my mind was always on survival. So I never took a moment to like, let me explore outside of this and see how it would go. It was like, I'm going to do something different, but safely, some way that I know that I'll be able to survive. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know if that makes sense to y'all, but let me break it down. So like, all right. So for instance, when I was 18 and my mom got evicted, I didn't really have a chance to explore what I wanted to do. I just jumped into work so I could pay rent like that. Then ended up in Florida and being in a situation I didn't want to be in. It's like, okay, we're going to move to Georgia. We're going to work. We're going to do something different. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times didn't feel flowy. Didn't feel peaceful. It felt very like this has to be done. So let's make the best of it in the situation that we find ourselves in, if that makes sense. And I feel like after a while, you get drained, okay? And I feel like I got drained. And I got drained in the Georgia situation, okay? When we were in Georgia, first of all, the apartment was crazy bummy. And what you call it, like the complex, the management, they was trying to play themselves like they didn't know it was crazy. So we just had to get up out of there. But the best and easiest thing, we also was missing our family and stuff. So we went back to New York City. But just how I'm saying I have a midlife crisis and I'm a little bit confused on life decisions and how to move forward. I'm confused about explaining why the decisions I made back then was made, because you only can feel it in the moment, but trying to explain it now is like almost impossible. Either way, y'all heard the past. That's what happened. So right now, currently, I am 32, right? And I feel like I want more for myself, right? I want more for myself, but not only do I want more for myself, I have all of these ideas, dreams, and goals that I can, want, and will accomplish. And sometimes I get overwhelmed that it pushes me to do absolutely nothing at all. So, this YouTube journey, right? It can be very, very draining because it takes a lot. So once I was on here at the beginning, y'all, and I was going and going and going and going, the videos were doing good, and I started getting more of a subscriber count, more views, stuff like that. It took a whole lot more work. It was draining my soul. It was draining to the point that YouTube was everything, even outside of the cameras, because I'm like, okay, I have to plan my next YouTube video. I got to buy this for YouTube. No, I'm not buying that. I'm going to buy this because this works for YouTube. And when I'm saying this and not that, even down to clothes, I'll be like, nope, not getting this. I'm going to get this. This one will look better on camera. So everything started revolving around YouTube because YouTube was all I was doing. Everything I was buying was for something for YouTube video. Hair products for wig, certain clothes that look good on camera. I'm not going to get my hair box braided, even though I love box braids, because I'm reviewing a lot of wigs now and people are counting on me doing wigs. So now I'm just going to walk around the house with like doodle braids all the time because I need to be prepared for a YouTube video. And that's what it got to. It started making you feel crazy sometimes. And I am a person that always had my hair done. My hair stayed done. I stayed with lashes on. My nails stayed done. Things like that. And once I started going so hard on YouTube, it made me that way, but on camera, and the opposite off camera. Because once I got off camera, it was like, ooh, time to take a break. But like, I'm cute on camera. But then when I'm going to the store, I feel like, let me just throw on this quick bummy sweatpants outfit just to run to the store. Like I wasn't putting myself together and being the best version of me because I was just so drained. Like being off of YouTube, being off of camera felt like a break. And my breaks forced me to just not be the best version of myself. And that's why I stopped doing so much videos. And like, for instance, y'all see I got this little kid. How would I even like to do cute styles and be like, oh, but let's not do the cute style because you got a wig to review. I do have a wig to review, but it's going to have to wait. Okay. So stuff like that. It was diving into my real life so much that it started to become draining. And I'm sure Dominique was tired of hearing me talk about YouTube too, because the lights, the equipment, the cameras, the outfits, what I'm gonna wear, here's the big one, y'all. I was buying a lot of takeout because when I was filming back to back or editing back to back, I didn't want to stop to go in the kitchen to look to find something to cook. I would just order. Like Domino's used to be here all the time. Like, oh my gosh, it was crazy. So at the top of this year, actually at last year around this time, I started working for another job. And I was like, let me take this job to see if I can get some discipline and apply this discipline to YouTube, because YouTube started becoming chaotic. Now it was just like, it was crazy. It got so crazy that I crashed out, I burnt out, and I stopped doing it. I was like, one video a month. I would even have sponsored videos, videos that was paying, that I would drag out for a month just because I didn't feel like doing it, or I just was procrastinating. My mind was always thinking, it was thinking too hard. I would think about filming the video from morning to night to the point that I didn't film it because I overthought. And when you overthink, it feels more difficult than it actually is. I'm like, oh, but I gotta get my makeup. So my makeup brush is clean. Do I have a nice outfit to go on camera? Let me look through some videos, see what looked good on camera. So I'm gonna wear that outfit again. Which wig I'm gonna do? Am I gonna do the wig now, or am I gonna do it before? The lighting, is my lighting set up? Do I have my stuff ready? Do I have to get it ready? Are my batteries charged? Is the memory card full? Things like that. When you start thinking about all that stuff, you be like, I ain't doing it. Sound like too much. I ain't doing it. So that's what started to happen. And I was like, girl, it's really not that serious. Take it step by step. Just think about one thing at a time. It's really, really not that hard, and doesn't have to be that difficult, especially if you prep. And I started getting lazy because I was like, it seemed like too much work. So I would wake up and I'd be like, I'm filming today. I would say it. I would say it so much that Dominique was tired of hearing me say, I'm filming today. Because I'd be like, I'm filming today. Oh, yeah, I got to film. It's 2:00. I think I film. Oh, it's 6. Yeah, I'm going to still film. Like, trying to gas myself up to do it, you know? But it got to a point that it'll come when it comes. So I got the new job to try to get some discipline. I said, if I could wake up for a job at 6 a.m. to do something for somebody else, I should be able to wake up at 6 a.m. and get to it for my own stuff. So that's the reason why I took the job. I said, maybe it'll put some habits in, and some habits, you know? You get a habit of doing something, maybe it'll work out. I quit the job because I ain't like working for people anyway. I stayed there for a few months. I quit it. And then I said, I'm good. I'm going to apply that to here. I've been waking up at 6 a.m. and getting to it. Wake up at 6 a.m. and get to it. I woke up at 6 a.m., started getting to it, and it stopped immediately again. So I just felt at that time, I was like, YouTube is not for me. I think it's beating me up. I think it's beating me down. So I stopped. So here we are, January, top of the year. I made that announcement that I was done with YouTube. I even told companies, hey, I'm not doing it no more. So I'm so sorry. No more collabs. A few weeks went by and I was like, wait a minute. I like YouTube. I'm going to continue YouTube. Hit the companies back up. Hey, never mind. Psych, I'm doing it. I'm still doing it. And I was realizing that it's not that I hate YouTube. I just don't like the way I work. And my mind goes crazy because I don't have some type of form of, I need some type of, oh my gosh, I need to have a better workflow. I need to have some direction. I need to have some structure within it, because if not, it's going to be all over the place, which causes me to then feel burnt out in the mind before I can even start. So that is what happened. And that is why I have very little videos. But I just felt like from most since the whole past that you heard of mine, I feel like it's always like, it's just like no peace. Like, you know, it's always go, 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 or hustle, hustle, hustle. I mean, I really didn't really explain the in-betweens and stuff like that, just because I don't want to add too much of people's business, my business, and I just don't feel like it's important. But I just want to give you guys a path, like an idea of my past, maybe help y'all understand why I feel the way I feel now. But today, like right now, I personally feel like throughout my entire 20s that I just been on a hustle mindset. And then the hustle mindset eventually got me to a point of burnout. And it's not just YouTube. YouTube is a contributor, but it's just the constant feel of burnout. It's almost like I'm doing stuff and I have to keep going because I have to, with no breaks in between. Because if I take a break, I can end up in the situation I was in before. And who want to be homeless? Who want to be in a shelter? Who want to be broke? Not me. So I burn myself out sometimes to the point where I don't do anything and it's doing the opposite, because I just said that I got to keep going, but the burnout forces me not to do anything. Right? Okay, you got that. Now, that's for the YouTube part. Now, I'm still in this crisis for so many other things, because YouTube is definitely not the only thing that I want or need to be doing right now. Y'all know that I launched, well, Dominique and we launched a candle business last year. We launched it somewhere around this time last year. We were selling candles. And dang, was it last year? Time is flying. Was it last year? I have no idea. Or did I not sell candles in a whole year? Oh my gosh, I might have not sold candles in a whole entire year. Either way, we launched a candle business. It was going good, and for no reason at all, other than overwhelmness, I just stopped because I wanted to change the website that I was using. I wanted to change some things around. I needed to re-up on some more supplies and did not. And I still have some supplies. I need to make more candles. It was not that interesting to me anymore. The sales weren't coming in the way I expected. I was making some sales, but not as much as I wanted to. And then I was also having to promote things on my regular YouTube channel, my regular social medias, along with the ones for the candles, that I started feeling burned out, and then everything crashed. And I was like, okay, no more candle business. Eventually the website, I didn't pay for 1 month, I didn't pay for the second month, I didn't pay for the third month. And I was like, guess I ain't paying for this website no more. So that's what I got to. But the crazy part is I want to sell my candles. And this is something that my mind is working on. Actually, today I went and bought a couple things to make more candles. So tomorrow I'm supposed to be making more candles. So that is a plan. And guys, I really didn't speak about this, what I'm about to speak about, because sometimes I don't really like to speak too much of my moves before I do it, because I feel like people ask you, so how's it going? And I hate that. I just like to show. So I actually want to flip houses eventually, and I love interior design, so I want to be an interior designer. I started doing something in my little bedroom area. This is my old bedroom. I turned into my room, and the room I used to record in, I turned into a bedroom. Don't know why I did that, because ain't no TV in there, and I'd be mad. So I take the mattress off the bed every day, put it in the living room to sleep, but watch TV and put it back. But either way, that's my plan, and I also want to become a realtor. So these are things that I've known already, and I've been talking about it for so long. And I actually looked up information to become a realtor like 2 months ago. And I was like, okay, I see what needs to be done. Let me start making these calls. Did not do it. I don't know why I did not do it. I don't know why I'm not doing it. I just have no idea why not. And every day I'm like, yeah, I want to do this stuff. And I just don't. What ends up happening is I do the stuff that needs immediate attention for the day. And then that's it. That's it. And it's so stressful because it's so hard to just be like, girl, just do it. In my mind, everything seems so difficult. It seems like it's going to take a lot of my energy. So then I say, let me reserve it for after work, like 6 o'clock, when I could actually read through some stuff and understand something. But by the time that time come, I'm too relaxed and I don't want to do it no more. So I'm struggling in that sense, and I am trying to do better. And actually doing this video is something that I wanted to talk about for a long time. So this was a struggle to get to do, but I'm doing it. So that's great. And then, yeah, again, like to the candles, I am making candles tomorrow. I am definitely making candles tomorrow. So, my little 30s midlife crisis, man, is more so about knowing what I want. I know what I want. Why am I not putting one foot in front of the other and doing it? I don't know why. I really don't know what's holding me back. Even down to like my health and my weight. Like your girl's so shorty. I'm 5'4", y'all. I'm like 192 pounds. I've been at this weight for probably like a year. It's not budging. It's not going up. It's not going down, but it's not supposed to be there. Okay, my goal is 140, and I started at one point like 2 years ago where everybody was like, "Oh, your face slimming up." I started losing weight. I was doing great, eating better. I was working out and all of that, and then I just stopped. I just completely stopped. And every night I'm like, "Girl, when you wake up, go to the gym." Do I do it? I do not. I do not know why. It's like I wake up and I say I'll do it tomorrow. So these things I'm just struggling with, and it's just so hard for me to make the steps to do these things, y'all. I don't know what's going on, why my mind just won't get it together, why I just won't do it. Like, it's a struggle. And I think it's because I'm thinking about everything. Every day, literally, I'm thinking about the realtor, the candles, trying to make more content on YouTube, going to the gym, eating better. Every single day, I'm thinking about all of them. And I think it's so much on my mind at one time that I'm like, I'll get to it tomorrow. I need to learn how to focus on one thing at a time, but it's just so difficult for me. So I'm in this bond within myself, and I'm trying to break out of it so I can just get to some stuff. So I can get to some stuff. But I don't know what it is. I have no idea. And to be really honest with y'all, I think I just am burned out. I think I'm on relax mode. Maybe I just need to relax to the point where I feel fully rejuvenated. But I don't think I'll feel fully rejuvenated because I could never relax. I would never relax because those things are always going to be on my mind, which makes me always feel guilty. Like, yo, don't relax. Get back on your hustle. What are you doing? So my relax and my hiatuses from YouTube never feels great because I always have guilt for not doing something. So, yeah. That made a lot of sense to me. I don't know if you guys will make sense out of it, but that's the best way I can explain how I feel. So that's that. And yeah. Y'all be feeling like that? So like last year, for the last few years, anxiety was my biggest thing. My anxiety is not as bad as it used to be. My anxiety was on heavy the more often I was doing YouTube stuff. The less I do YouTube stuff, the less my anxiety is. Don't know why YouTube gives me anxiety. It's a thing of trying to make sure that I'm living up to the expectations of y'all, my subscribers and my viewers. So I think it's like, oh, you gotta put out another video. They expecting you. Put out another one. Put out another one. I don't care no more. I don't watch my views. I don't watch my likes. I do reply to comments though because I like to chat. But I don't follow analytics, algorithms, things of that such. I don't do that anymore because that was a big part of what's giving me stress. My nails don't look good. That's why I ain't gonna show it. I'm gonna do it over though. I'm gonna do it tonight. So yeah, I don't watch none of that. My Instagram, my TikTok, non-likes. I don't even hide my likes no more. I show it. I don't care. Yeah, I got 9 likes and I'm going to post again tomorrow. Because the whole point of me doing YouTube from the beginning was because I loved the creativity of it. I loved sharing my experiences. I'm learning makeup. Let me show you how to do my everyday makeup. That's how it started. It didn't start based on me trying to make money. What happened was I saw other people making money, so I wanted to make money. So naturally, I started trying to chase the money. I don't chase the money no more. YouTube is not my money maker. I don't make that much money on YouTube like I used to, and I don't care. You feel me? Nothing is going to get me to go as hard on YouTube as I used to before. I have to do it out of me wanting to and not doing it to chase a bag at all. So that being said, I reeled off of the YouTube and now I'm working a 9 to 5, y'all. Work from home. Believe this, the work from home job that I'm doing is the first call center job that I was doing when I turned 18 that I told y'all about. But this time was work from home. So I'm doing that right now. And I'm not going to lie to y'all. I don't like working for people. So I don't really know how long I'm going to be there. But I'm doing it right now because it's stability. For me, it's giving me some discipline to get up in the morning and do something. Is bringing in some income. You feel me? And I don't have to do this chaotic YouTube stuff for my money. Because at one point, YouTube was the only way I was making my bread. But I'm not doing that like that no more. I want to focus on some other stuff. I want to put my mind in other places. I want to focus on the candles. And the realty and all of that type of school. I said school. I want to go back to school to get like a degree or some type of knowledge on running a business for myself. So these are things that I have to accomplish. And unfortunately, YouTube is just going to have to be slowed down, take a little bit of a back seat because I cannot. It's impossible for me to go as hard as I used to because it was giving me anxiety and I was doing it all the time. I told y'all YouTube became my life. YouTube inside, outside of the house. I can't do that if I need to focus on other stuff. So that's that. I'll say this though. I've been at this job for a little over a month or something like that. And no, it's not. It's not even a month yet. When did I start? It's been a little over a month that I've been at this job. And since I've been at this job, I've been able to relax a little bit because for one, my income is coming in without me having to do the chaoticness of YouTube. So that part is addressed. Secondly, with not having to think about the chaoticness of YouTube, my mind has a little more open space to think about the other stuff that I want to do. So I'm here making a video right now. You feel me? This video would have never been done if I was working at that job. I don't think. I probably would have been busting out more wig reviews because that's what was popping on my channel. But I don't want to do what everybody wants me to do. I want to do what I want to do. And talking about this made me feel good. I feel a lot relaxed. I feel like some tension is left up off me. This video is mad long. How long? Oh my gosh, over an hour and 5 minutes. It's crazy, but I'm going to put out the whole video. And honestly, I'm just going to upload this video as is. I'm not even going to cut it. I'm not cutting it. I'm not editing anything. I don't got time for none of that. This video is going up as is. So how you see it is how you going to get it. Yeah, my mind can't go no more, y'all. Your girl going through some things. I'm trying to work through it. I think I'm getting through it. I think I'm able to talk about it now because I'm reaching a point of being able to get through it because I wasn't able to talk about it before. So that's great. Yeah, I want to be me. I want to be genuine. I want to be the real me. And let me tell you something. I posted a short video on Shorts on TikTok Reels the other day of my regular morning routine in my house before getting ready for work, because you always see me glammed up with a nice background and stuff like that. But I don't live in a luxurious home. I live in a regular old house that been made like 100 years ago, okay? And I do what I do. I do what I could do. I make the best of it. I make it look cute, because I like interior design. But it's not the flyest thing. It's really not. And of course, in videos, because you're trying to keep up with this type of presentation, people don't always show the real stuff. You show what you want to be shown. Like, why would you want to show the flaws? Like, that makes no sense. But I did that video so that way it can really show some of my flaws. Like, my room is not picture perfect. The room that I'm filming is not picture perfect. My kitchen floor is bent up. It ain't picture like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so that also helped me just feel a little more like, just be yourself, be a regular person. Like, stop trying to you don't have to give off this presentation of yourself of people who are living in this luxurious place that you're not in. When you get there, you get there. And then when you film it, it'll be real. So that too. That is also something that was just like, but also at the same time, I want that. You know what I'm saying? You know how to say, try to live the life you want to get it, something like that. It don't matter. That might be my own saying, but I feel like sometimes I like nice things. I like nice looking homes. I don't like to live busted. So this house is old, but this room, not as far as the furniture and decor, because that gets moved around because this is like my little filming studio, but I painted it in a way. I put up certain blinds in a way and curtains in a way to like have people like, oh, this is nice. So it wouldn't appear to be a busted old 100-year-old house. You know what I'm saying? I make the best of what I have all the time, but I just got to be real with myself. I want to become a rich chick, okay? And I will become that. But in order for me to do that, I got to get my mind right. The battery dying? No, it's not yet. So in order for me to get my mind right, y'all, I got to focus. I don't like doing 9-to-5s, but the only way I really reel back a little bit and get a little focus is when I do 9-to-5s. Only because it takes me off of the forcefulness of the hustle bustle YouTube. And I was doing Instacart too, y'all. That's hustle bustly too. That's hustly bustly too. Sometimes I need something calm to help settle my mind a little bit. But this job ain't getting too calm because these customers crazy. Girl, I don't know how long I'll be able to do it. But midlife crisis, also being hard on myself. This is the last thing I'm gonna say because this is one of the important things why I was making this video in the beginning. From the reason why I want to make it to get this point across. I've been really hard on myself too because I'm like, yo, I'm 32. I don't got what I want. I'm not where I want to be. This is not how I want to be living. I don't want to live here. I want this house. I don't want to be living in this area. I want to live somewhere else. I don't got the money I want. Like, none of that stuff is how I want it at all. And I'm going to say this though. For one, things happen when it's supposed to happen for you. That's number one. Number two, The only person control and the moves that you make is yourself. So the only person who could be holding me back from that is me. So I have to get out my mind and I have to do what I got to do to get there. Right? And number 3, just because you see other people in their 30s doing this, don't mean you need to be comparing yourself, because I don't do nothing but hold you back. And I don't really compare myself to people, but I see what other people have and I be like, yeah, hell yeah, I want that. And then it make me feel hard on myself, like, why you ain't got that yet? Girl, go hard. I don't need my mind going crazy. I need to stay focused, work on one task at a time, figure out what steps I need to take. Business school, realty school, whatever it is, y'all. But I know for sure I ain't going to be doing this 9 to 5 long. And your girl going to be on her entrepreneur stuff. I know my candle's going to become a household name, or me, home and body. You feel me? So, yeah. I just got to get focused, get my mind together. It's been hard, but I'm coming out of it. I'm coming out of it slowly. And I see what I need to do. And I need to drop these pounds. Like, I just need to do better with everything. Yes, my life has been kind of hard. You guys don't see the hard stuff I go through. I come on camera, showing the good stuff. Why would I want to come on camera? Like, let me tell y'all what bad stuff happened or what sad stuff happened. Like, it's been a long, long, hard 10 years. It's been a struggle. And I came from a struggle too. Hustle, bustle, baby. But at the end of the day, I don't show that because my channel was my getaway, happy stuff. So we don't come over here and talk about all that negative stuff. But this is a real video today. So that's that. I'm out of here. It's a big on better things. I got this. I will do it. But I'm out. Yeah, I'm talking. And I might talk a lot. And yeah, I don't have my podcast channel no more. So if y'all was looking for that, it's gone. Whole nother story. Mental things. I don't think I want to share all of that. All of that. I already shared this part of me with y'all, but I'm out of here. Bye. All right, so the video is over. Thank you so much for watching. Now, if you have any questions or comments, go ahead and drop it down in the comment section. And I'm going to go ahead and chit chat with y'all. I love to do it. Bye.